How are your financials? Do you have access? I was having a conversation with a client just this week, and the same topic comes up over and over. So I thought I would share with you guys. You absolutely need transparency in your financials. And if you don't have an online bookkeeping program like QuickBooks Online or whatever you're using, if you don't have immediate access to it because your bookkeeper who's offsite wants it on their desktop or has it on a server and comes into your office or whatever, stop that. Just cut that out. You know, 10, 15 years ago, there was a good argument for that. All right. But the online services have improved so much that there's really there's very little distinction. I won't say there's no, but there's very little distinction. And you get on the online, you can then provide different logins. You can give it to your accountant. You're not emailing files back and forth. You just give them permissions as an accountant. You have your bookkeeper. You can then see of transparency to see what they're doing. Are they really waiting to the end of the month and spending 8 hours, 2 weeks after the month end to close things out? Or are they doing things along the way? You want your books kept along the way. Okay, you want transparency. You want to be able to pull a report yourself without having to go to your bookkeeper or have them have control. Okay, when I'm talking with clients, we're trying to look at the numbers for last month or where we are as of today, that type of thing. It drives me nuts when they don't have access. But worse than that, it should drive them nuts because you got to have access to your numbers, especially your money. You're running a business, right? Not a hobby. Running a business. If your bookkeeper won't go online and won't let you have access, fire them. Get a new bookkeeper. Okay, it just drives me absolutely crazy. It's your business. This is your data. These are your numbers. This is your money. You need to have access at any given time, and you need the people that work with you to honor that and to respect your wishes. All right, so hit me up if you need help with this or figuring out what to do next. But whether it's QuickBooks Online or whatever bookkeeping service you're using, you need access at any given time. You need to be able to pull stuff, to look at it, even if you don't know what you're looking at right now. Okay, but as you evolve, as you go through, as you learn more, you're going to need to do that. You want to monitor and stay on top of your money. And that leads us into the three buckets, okay, for a profit first budget. And I call it profits first budget. That's not the book, okay? The book, to me, if you've ever read that with all the different bank accounts and the different envelopes and whatever that is way too complicated, okay? We have three buckets. We'll look at your business, we set things up, we figure out what your targets are, and you keep it really simple. You start with your profit. That's why we call it profit first, because you start with the profit margin you want to make. All right, if that's 15% or that's 20%, let's say, that's your profit margin. You know how much revenue you generate. You know how much money that's going to generate for you. You then go to your overhead. Your overhead expenses are generally pretty predictable and fixed. Okay, your overhead expenses include your rent, all this stuff that's not personnel related, okay, not personnel related. Utilities, rent, IT services, your marketing budget, whatever you've got there that won't go up and down with increasing or decreasing staff members, okay? Write this down or repeat it. What won't go up and down when you add or remove staff members, that's your overhead bucket. We're not doing this to make your bookkeeper happy. We're not doing this for your accountant or for tax purposes. We're doing this for your management decision making, all right? Profit margin, percentage, 20%. Overhead, percent, 20, 25%, okay? If you're way over that, then let's talk, because there are ways to get that back under control, and 20, 25% is a good range. And I'm talking, at the high rent districts in San Francisco, in Silicon Valley, we still have clients, and I ran a business with lower than 25% overhead, all right? If I can pay rent in the financial district of San Francisco and be under 25%, very likely you can, all right? Now, the third bucket is your personnel. And it's not just salaries and wages. We can call it a salary cap, but it's all the expenses that will change if you add additional staff. Okay, so that includes work comp insurance, perhaps your liability, if that goes up and down, your EMR or the software licenses, if you have to buy more of those as you add people, anything that's tied to the number of people you have, your headcount, your number of staff, taxes, wages, benefits, all that stuff, that goes in your personnel bucket. And think of it this way: if you've got a profit margin of 20% that you're aiming for and an overhead of 25%, your revenue is 100%. That means you've got 100 minus 20 minus 25. That leaves you with 55% in the personnel bucket. Okay. And if you look at your numbers every month and you have a 20% profit margin target, you have a 25% overhead target, and you have a 55% personnel target, you can put real numbers next to that. You can look at those numbers, whether, pull them out of your bookkeeping software, which is part of why you need access. You don't want to wait for a report from somebody else. All right. You want to get access. You want to look at those numbers and compare them. If you're within range, you're good, move on. If you're not, then you want to do a diagnosis. You want to do a deeper dive and figure out why you're not in range. All right. So if my personnel expenses are over budget, I need to take a look at that. I need to start making a plan to get that back and under control, because if I'm paying my overhead at 25%, my personnel is over my 55% target, there's only one place that can come from. It's coming from your profit. All right. So think about those 3 buckets. Keep it simple. All right. Keep it simple. That's a running theme in my programs and everything I do. You've got enough to worry about. Honestly, you got enough to worry about with your staff and your business and marketing and getting clients in and making customers happy and doing the thing that you do. You don't need more complexity. So we simplify this stuff and boil it down. If you need help or you just want to ask a question, hit me up. Make sure, if you're whatever media platform you see this on, that you share this, that you like it, comment, tell me what you're thinking. Okay, well, I'll respond to you personally. We'll get back and let you know, hook up with resources, answer your questions, whatever it is you need. Thanks.